Hello, and welcome to my English podcast, where we help you speak English naturally and confidently. I'm Leo, and today we're going to talk about something that can completely transform your English overnight. You ready? Let's dive in. Today, I want to help you stop making the 7 most common mistakes that immediately tell people English is not your first language. But here's the thing. These aren't grammar mistakes from textbooks. These are real speaking patterns that native speakers notice right away. And the best part? Once you fix these 7 things, people will start asking you, "Wow, where did you learn to speak English so well?" Trust me, I've seen it happen with my students hundreds of times. So let's jump right into mistake number 1. Mistake number 1, using perfect grammar all the time. Wait, what? Yes, you heard me right. Perfect grammar actually makes you sound less natural, not more natural. Let me explain why. When I was teaching English online, I had this brilliant student named Kevin. His grammar was absolutely perfect. Every sentence was textbook correct. But native speakers kept asking him to repeat himself. Why? Because he sounded like a robot, not like a real person. Here's what natives actually do. We use contractions. We say, "I'm gonna," instead of "I am going to." We say, "Wanna grab coffee?" instead of "Would you like to get some coffee?" We drop words sometimes. We say, "Sounds good," instead of "That sounds good to me." So here's your first challenge. Start using contractions every single time. Don't say "I am," say "I'm." Don't say "you are," say "you're." Don't say "I would like," say "I'd like." This one simple change will make you sound 50% more natural immediately. Mistake number 2. Over-explaining everything. Native speakers use something called implied meaning. We don't say everything directly. For example, if someone asks, "Are you hungry?" a native speaker might just say, "I could eat," instead of, "Yes, I am feeling hungry and I would like to have some food now." When you explain every detail, you sound formal and unnatural. Instead, learn these native-style responses. When someone asks how you are, don't say, "I am doing very well, thank you for asking." Just say, "Pretty good," or "Can't complain," or even just "Good." You? Practice being more casual with your responses. Less is more. Mistake number 3. Using textbook vocabulary in casual conversations. This is huge. I see students doing this all the time. They say things like, "I must depart now," instead of "I gotta go." They say, "It was delicious," instead of "It was really good." Here's the secret. Native speakers use simple words in casual conversation. We save the fancy vocabulary for formal situations like job interviews or presentations. So instead of "That's magnificent," say "That's awesome." Instead of "I'm extremely fatigued," say "I'm super tired." Instead of "I comprehend," just say "I get it." Your goal is to sound like a friend, not like a dictionary. Mistake number 4. Speaking with the wrong rhythm and stress. English is not like other languages. We don't stress every word equally. We have a very specific rhythm, and when you get this wrong, people notice immediately. Here's how it works. In English, we stress the important words, usually nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. We barely pronounce the small words like the, a, to, for. Listen to this. I'm going to the store to buy some milk. Notice how some words are strong and others are weak? That's English rhythm. Practice this right now. Take any sentence and find the important words. Make those words longer and louder. Make the small words shorter and quieter. This might be the most important tip in this entire podcast episode. Master English rhythm, and people will think you've lived in America or England for years. Mistake number 5. Apologizing too much and being too polite. I know this sounds crazy, but hear me out. Many English learners say sorry and excuse me and thank you so much way too often. In some cultures, this shows respect. But in English-speaking cultures, too much apologizing makes you sound insecure. Native speakers are more direct. We say, "Can you pass the salt?" Not, "Excuse me, I'm so sorry to bother you, but could you possibly pass the salt if it's not too much trouble?" Here's what to do instead. Use thanks instead of thank you so much. Say, "Excuse me," only when you actually need to interrupt someone. Don't apologize for asking normal questions. Be confident in your communication. You have every right to speak and ask for what you need. Mistake number 6. Translating idioms and expressions from your native language. This one is tricky because these translations sometimes make grammatical sense, but they sound very strange to native speakers. For example, some students say, "I have 25 years," instead of "I'm 25 years old." Or they say, "I have hunger," instead of "I'm hungry." These direct translations immediately tell people you're thinking in another language first. The solution? Learn English expressions as complete chunks, not word by word. Don't translate, "How do you call this?" from your language. Learn, "What do you call this?" Or, "What's this called?" Spend time learning how native speakers actually express common ideas. Don't assume your language's logic will work in English. Mistake number 7. Using rising intonation for statements. This is probably the most subtle mistake, but it's incredibly important. Many students end their statements with a question intonation, like this: "My name is Ada?" instead of "My name is Ada." When you do this, you sound uncertain about everything you say, even when you're stating facts. Native speakers use falling intonation for statements and rising intonation for questions. Practice this. Say, "I live in Beijing," with your voice going down at the end. Now say, "Do you live in Beijing?" with your voice going up at the end. Feel the difference? This small change will make you sound more confident and sure of yourself. Now, let me give you some practical ways to fix all of these mistakes starting today. First, find a TV show or podcast you love and really listen to how people talk. Don't focus on understanding every word. Focus on the rhythm, the contractions, the casual vocabulary. Try to copy not just the words, but the whole feeling of how they speak. Second, record yourself speaking for just 2 minutes every day. Talk about your day, your plans, anything. Then listen back and ask yourself, do I sound natural? Am I using contractions? Is my rhythm correct? Third, practice having imaginary conversations. When you're alone, pretend you're talking to a friend. Use casual vocabulary, contractions, natural rhythm. Make it feel real. Fourth, stop translating in your head. When someone asks you a question in English,
try to think of your answer directly in English. It's okay if it's simple.
It's better to give a simple, natural answer than a complex, translated one. Here's something important I want you to remember. You don't need to sound exactly like someone from New York or London. You just need to sound natural and confident. There are many different English accents around the world, and they're all valid. The goal isn't to hide where you're from. The goal is to communicate clearly and naturally so people can focus on your ideas, not on how you're speaking. I want to share one more story with you. Last year, I had a student named Lisa who had been studying English for 10 years. She knew advanced grammar perfectly, but people still asked her to repeat herself constantly. After just 1 month of focusing on these 7 areas, especially rhythm and contractions, her confidence completely transformed. She told me, "Ada, for the first time, I feel like people are listening to my ideas, not struggling to understand my English." That's what I want for you too. So here's your homework. Pick just one of these 7 mistakes and focus on it this week. Don't try to fix everything at once. Maybe this week, focus on using contractions. Next week, work on rhythm. Slow and steady progress is much better than trying to change everything immediately. Remember, every native speaker you admire started exactly where you are now. The difference is they kept practicing, kept improving, and never gave up. You can do this. I believe in you completely. If this podcast episode helped you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more English confidence tips. And leave a comment telling me which of these 7 mistakes you want to work on first.
Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode, where we'll talk about how to small talk like a native speaker. It's going to be amazing. Until then, keep practicing, stay confident, and remember, your English is already better than you think it is. See you next time.